Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I'm Adam McCullough. Today I am joined by Radio Gaz and of course Ben as well. And we're here to talk about the Europa League match. Europa League football is back for Manchester United. I don't know why I sound so happy about that. I'm not very happy about it at all. But I'm joined by these guys anyway. We're going to discuss the upcoming game between Manchester United and of course Feyenoord in Rotterdam on Thursday. Guys, looking forward to this one?
No.
It's another game.
Ben, what I want to come on to first is, does the Europa League really matter for Manchester United? Because we've got, obviously, a big squad. Jose Mourinho has been speaking about all competitions, but does it really matter?
To people, it won't matter until we get knocked out at a group stage, and then it's an absolute catastrophe, and it does matter. I think personally, and you guys will probably disagree, I'm quite looking forward to the Europa League this season, mainly because of how big our squad is, and I'm hoping that what Jose's going to do is he's going to utilise that squad in the Europa League games, the League Cup games, and the FA Cup games. So that's one thing to look forward to. Also, if we'll come on to teams a bit later on, but if what I'm thinking might happen, we will see a lot of Marcus Rashford in the competition this year. And obviously that's what we want as Reds. We want to see a lot of Rashford. We want Depay given a chance. We want to see Mata playing. We want to see, obviously didn't have a good game at the weekend, but we do want to see Lingard in there. We want to see players given a chance to play, and we want to see them earn the shirt. And I think the Europa League is going to be the tournament which they get to. So for me, yeah, I think it does matter, because I think that off the back of the City defeat, if we then go and lose against Feyenoord and we go into the game against Watford, the fans are going to be down, the club's going to be a little bit down, and the team itself and the squad are going to be quite down coming off the back of 2 defeats. So I think, yeah, all competitions matter. We're Manchester United. With the money we spent in the summer, with our history, with the club we are, with the players we've got, with the manager we've got, we should be going out to win every single competition, no matter if we think it's a Mickey Mouse Cup or if we think it's a little bit crap. I think, yeah, this season, more than before, I think the Europa League, for me, it does matter. Would you not want to see us win the Europa League?
I think once we got there, I would want to see us win it. But if we got knocked out before, I'm not as bothered when we get knocked out of the Europa League as I am the Champions League. But I do agree that it could be key for United this season. Gaz, what's your opinion on that, mate?
I think the most exciting thing about the Europa League was maybe the potential away days that would come from it. But we've got one that's in a frigging war zone. We've got another that's in Turkey. And the only good one, Feyenoord away, has come so early that no one can really afford to go apart from frigging McCullough. So, it's a bit of a pain in the arse, really. But yeah, aside from that, really, the competition as a whole, I'm not really that fussed about it. I think Manchester United as a club are miles bigger than the actual competition itself. So that's in itself suggests that we shouldn't really be playing in it. But we are, and like Ben said, we've got some good youngsters in this team who can really have a chance to shine and maybe get into future first team plans in the Europa League. And also, it's a good competition, I guess, to play players that maybe are a bit low on confidence, maybe haven't performed too well for the first team. I mean, the game just gone. I'm looking at players like Luke Shaw, who I think was dreadful in the first half, and I'm not sure I'm saying that more about him than Valencia because it was on the wing that I actually sit on. But Luke Shaw was really awful in that first half, so I want to see him start in the Europa League. And, of Lingard as well, who obviously had a very bad game, he can get a game. And it's a good competition maybe to get players' confidence back up. But I just think in more than anything, it's just going to be a bit of a nuisance for us, especially if we start playing. Well, even if we're playing players that are low on confidence, that are still first team players, they can pick up injuries. All this sort of malarkey can get in the way. The travelling can affect the squad. So I think it's going to be more of a negative than a positive for us being in it, because I don't think we're going to go full pelt to win it either. So I can't really see us winning it.
Guys, I'll give you that link for the Escort website. Make you get that money up, mate. Come on, then Europe aways there with me. Basically, yeah, I kind of agree with you guys that whilst it can be seen as a distraction, especially to league football, because I hate this Sunday, Thursday, sometimes on a Monday. And we'll see now, we've got Watford, we've got Northampton, we've got, who's after Watford? Is it Leicester at home? We've got a lot of games consecutively now. And at the beginning of the season, at this stage of the season, I think it will be beneficial because we can give players like Memphis, like Rojo. You mentioned Luke Shaw starting. I can't see that happening. I think Marcus Rojo will get a chance. I think Darmian will come back in. So I think because of the numbers we have in our squad, the Europa League could become a competition by where a lot of our players are fighting for places and fighting for spots in a team. So we start performing in there. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen, but I really hope it doesn't hinder our Premier League ambitions, because we've seen that happen to teams in the past, and I think that's always my concern, the Thursday, Sunday kind of thing. But moving on from that, at the weekend, the game against City, obviously we have to bring that up again. Apologies. But guys, you mentioned Luke Shaw and the performance of Luke Shaw in Valencia, and I felt that the defence, I thought all of them were equally shambolic in that first half, but I felt they weren't helped by their midfield. Now, do you think changing from 4-2-3-1 to 4-3-3 could help that midfield area improve? Sorry, that defensive area improve?
I'm not too sure about the defensive area, but I think going forward, I think it would actually help us quite a bit, because I think the one massive difference that a 4-2-3-1 has to a 4-3-3 is that it uses a number 10, which is a position that I don't think we really need anyone playing in. I mean, that isn't just me just slagging off Wayne Rooney either. I think that if Jose Mourinho is willing to play him there, I think Wayne Rooney would actually do quite well in a midfield three, and especially since we have players who can play in a free in midfield perfectly. I think that Pogba is instantly a better player when you play him there. I think Schneiderlin can do well if he's just sort of I hate to say this term because it sounds so football hipster, but single pivot type thing rather than a double pivot type thing. And Fellaini as well, these sorts of players, and Herrera would be great in a midfield three. And these players would be given more of an opportunity and have more freedom if we played that formation. And it was one of those things that I was expecting Louis van Gaal to go to it eventually, and he just never really stuck with it for a long period of time. But I think that hopefully as the season progresses, Jose will realise that with the players that we've got, we're more suited to that formation.
Ben, do you think that the 4-2-3-1 brings the best out of the players that we have? Or do you think to get the best, we need to change formations?
It's obviously, I don't want to hit on the City game, but it's interesting what Gaz was saying about Shaw being poor. Lingard obviously was very poor. But then if you think about it, our worst players, I would say in the first half on that pitch, were on our left side. Shaw, Lingard, I don't think Pogba was there at all in the first half. Daley Blind was you could say a little bit at fault for the first goal.
Yeah.
For the first
a little bit.
And on top of that, I just think that they closed Blind down so quickly that he couldn't play his football at the back. And this is the only problem we've got with playing Daley Blind as a centre back. He's a footballing footballer. And I know that sounds stupid to say, but he is a footballing footballer. He wants to have the ball at his feet. He wants to pick his pass. And he's so good at playing between the lines. So when you've got a team who are pressing you as much as City did, because let's face it, City did put on a show that first half. They completely outpassed us. They cut all passing lanes. They closed us down terrifically well. But when you've got that, and then on the right side, you've got Valencia, who wasn't moving forward at all. You've got Fellaini, who was static throughout the whole of that first half. And you've got Mkhitaryan, who was trying to cut inside, but he couldn't because City flooded the midfield. You've got then, half of your team who can't play football. So that's where it cuts out. But for me, for formation-wise, I'll probably be one of the only people to say this. I like the 4-2-3-1 because I like the fact that we can move that formation about if we need to. And you've seen Jose does it throughout a game. Rooney was apparently only going to be a number 10 or a number 9 for us. He's played out on the left wing. He's played on the right wing. He's been pushed back. He's played everywhere for us. And I'm not in the club of Rooney has to start, but I am in the club that he does offer so much in so many different positions, and he has got that grit and determination, which I thought we was going to get with Lingard at the weekend, but we didn't in the end, did we? So it's interesting. At the end of the day, Jose's going to pick the formation and what he sees from the side. I don't mind what side he plays, what formation he plays, as long as it suits the game. And at this moment in time, with the two holding, he's got to have someone. The key is finding someone to partner Pogba. That's the key. As soon as we find that out, and Herrera, when he came on, there is no reason why he shouldn't start on Thursday now for me. He has to start.
Ben, you say there we need to find a partner for Pogba, and we've got loads of midfielders who could do it as well, or we've got so many options in midfield to be given a chance with Paul Pogba, quality options as well. Morgan Schneiderlin and Ander Herrera, two players that I want to see play alongside Paul Pogba just to see how it goes. So, I think maybe that's what Europa League could be for.
A lot of people have criticised Paul Pogba's performances, and rightly so, over the last couple of weeks, especially in the derby. But I actually thought he did some bright things in the derby.
Yeah.
There was a few times he picked up the ball and he skinned about 3-4 players and he was bursting through on goal. I think the problem with him is we're playing him so deep in the lineup that he's a 4-2-3-1. He's playing behind the number 10, and I think just let him go. If you give him a midfield free, you allow him so much more freedom, and I think he'll be able to play his natural game a lot better. I think at the moment, 4-2-3-1 is kind of just accommodating Wayne Rooney. And whilst I think we do need our captain, and whilst I think our captain still has a role to play in this club, I don't think that role is from starting every single game. And that's the only reason I can see us playing this 4-2-3-1. If we played 4-3-3, Mkhitaryan, who was dreadful at the weekend, he will improve. He can play that right, and he loves to drift into the middle. But at the moment, when you've got players like that are drifting into the middle, it's getting very, very crowded, especially then when Zlatan's dropping deep and all this stuff. But
the only thing I would say, Adam, sorry for butting in, the only thing I would say is for me, Zlatan, this isn't a criticism of him at all, so please take this the right way. For me, if we go 4-3-3, Zlatan will come deep a heck of a lot. He will come deep a lot because he wants to just get on the ball. He wants to be on the ball. I think with having someone behind him, it stops him coming as deep as he normally would do. And you see PSG, they normally played with Zlatan in the lineup of 4-2-3-1, and Zlatan was the target man. The problem is he's such a confident footballer. He wants to get on the ball all the time. He'll come deep. We've seen it at times with even Rooney in there, and in the end we're playing two central attacking midfielders because they're both coming deep. I think what Jose wants to do is he wants to make sure that Zlatan knows he's the target man, so Rooney's behind him playing that central attacking midfield role to sort of push him forward. With the 4-3-3, my only worry would be is you've got Mkhitaryan and Martial bombing down the wing, and then there's no one in the middle because
I think what you'd find is how I think it'd be is when Zlatan drops deep, I think then when Rooney's not there, it's less crowded. And if we had Martial, Rashford on the side in a 4-3-3, so they're inverted forwards and not as much wingers, Zlatan dropping deep could pick those guys out as well. I think what Zlatan does in a number 10 isn't amazing. You don't really want him there, but he can still do it. And I think obviously as a number 9, that's where he needs to be. But if he does drop deep, with us playing, without us having that number 10 in there, it's less crowded and he's able to do more. I think at the moment when he drops there, it's so crowded. I think we've seen this evidence of this against Hull when everyone was, I know it was a bit gung-ho at that point in the game, but we had so many guys that were dropping into that area, Mkhitaryan, all these guys wanting to play there, that I think ultimately we just have to settle on one number 10 because it's that position. Now, what Wayne Rooney does great is stretch the game with long balls. But that's all he does at the moment. We're not getting much else from him. There's not much dynamism there. But saying that, second half, and he wasn't our worst player against City. Second half, though, when he did push out to the right, he did well. But you're always going to get that. You're always going to get that from Rooney, though. You're always going to get it from him. Like, he'll do well somewhere, but we've still got better options elsewhere.
I was going to say that's strange. He made that big difference against Hull when he's pushed out to the left-hand side and he went on that mazy run and put the ball in the box. And we saw the best of him against City when he was out on the right. So is it because in the middle he's not being given enough space? It's ridiculous. But they are just, and I'll say this again, Rooney comes up with just little moments here and there where he either makes a goal or he scores a goal. And he's been doing that for the past 2 seasons, although 90% of a game he has been dreadful. And the problem is Mourinho's a form-picking manager. So as long as you're in form, he's going to pick you. That's what my hope is now with Herrera. And I know you'll be happy with this, Adam. With Herrera playing so well at the end of that second half, I'm hoping now that means, right, Pogba, Herrera, done in the midfield for a few games.
Man.
Them two I still think Schneiderlin. But the problem is he hasn't been given the chance. Has he? Mensa.
Come on, guys.
What? What's wrong with him?
You say his name right one day, you know.
Mate, what did I say? How did I say his name wrong then? Fosu Mensa. That's what I said.
It was better. It was better. It wasn't fuzzy at the start, so that's good. Well done, guys.
Fuzzy Mensa.
Gaz, come to you now. Have you got your starting 11 there?
Yeah, but I did it on my phone, and I'm recording this on my phone.
Shall I go to bed first?
So I'm going to make it up. No, I'm going to do it as I go. I'm going to play loads of players who haven't played so far this season. I'll put Romero in goal, Darmian on the right, the two centre backs, Smalling, and I will go with Bailey as well. Smalling's got to make his first appearance of the season in this game, because I think looking.
Are you dropping Blind or resting Blind?
It's a bit of both, really, because I think as the season goes on, Smalling, it's gonna be evident that he's our best centre half, because I think he is. So it's good for him to get a game here, and then hopefully he'll start in our next game against Watford as well. On the left, I've put Luke Shaw, just because he did have a poor game against City. This is a good chance for his confidence to maybe get back up there if he has a good game. Maybe unlikely that he'll start, but. I'll play a 4-3-3. I'll put Pogba in there just because he's getting a lot of criticism for the City game, and this is a chance for him to just batter a load of lowly players, really. Morgan Schneidlin in there as the holding midfielder because he's not got a game this season, and it's good to test out options alongside Paul Pogba. And Herrera with him as a three midfield, which for me is a pretty tidy midfield. On the left, I have put... I'm going to go for Marshall on the left because he hadn't played well for us this season. Another good chance for him to get back on, well, maybe to even get on the scoring sheet, set up a goal, anything like that. Rashford up top, and on the right, Memphis Depay as well, because this is a perfect chance for Memphis to get a game for me. He has to start in his home country. You know, he did it against PSV last season. This is just a really good chance for him to impress Jose Mourinho on his first start and prove that last season was just a blip and he does still have that potential. But because I'm not too sure myself.
I hope he does start. I hope you're right. I'd love to see Memphis start. Ben, what's your lineup, mate?
I'm going Big David Net. I'm going Valencia, Smalling, Bay. I agree with that. I think Smalling has to come in, not to replace Blind. That might not even be what happens against Watford. He just needs some games, and I think that this is a good chance for us to see what he plays like with Eric Bay, and it'd be a good chance to see how fit Smalling is at the moment, and if he can continue that form from last season, where in parts he was very, very good. Then I think he will play Luke Shaw. I just don't think he favours Rojo, and I think he will play Shaw when he can. Huh?
It's because he's shite.
You picked him.
I didn't. I picked Shaw. I didn't pick Rojo.
Rojo because he needs to rest it. Anyway, let's go with Herrera, Pogba in the midfield. Then I'm going to go Mata, Rooney, Marshall, and then I'm going to go Rashford up top. I think he'll rest Ibra, and I think he'll play Mata. Mata was rested at the weekend, so why not put him back in? And Martial as well. I think he needs games, and I was actually a bit disappointed not to see him start against City after the goal for France in the week. I thought that might have given him a bit of confidence. But other than that, just a couple of changes. I don't think he'll do too much, but he'll play players in key areas who need games. Rashford, Herrera, Smalling, Martial, Mata. I think that, I think he'll go with that. A few changes.
Anyone think Sergio Romero is going to come in?
I think he might.
I don't.
I think he might get a game.
Does he deserve one? Can you really say?
Well, to be fair to him, the guy sat on the bench and not had a marred at all like Valdez. So yeah, he deserves a game. Stick him in there.
I just don't think you need to rest your keeper, especially when he's the best in the world. I don't, unless he's injured, unless he's showing signs of fatigue, which he shouldn't be. I just don't think you need to rest your keeper. So I don't think
it's Feyenoord away. It's Feyenoord away in the Europa League, though, isn't it? I'm not arsed.
I think sometimes you can give Dave a little rest, and it's just like, Dave, we know you're great. Just have a rest, mate. You deserve it. Feyenoord, as for Feyenoord, we know they've got Dirk Kuyt. We know they've got Brad Jones. Does anyone else know anything else about them? They beat ADO Den Haag this weekend 3-1, which did all right for my accumulator until someone else messed it up. But yeah, they won this weekend. Anyone know anything about them? Anyone from them?
It's an hour. It's an hour train journey away from Amsterdam. That's what I know.
Is Brad Jones that old goalkeeper who didn't play in goal for them? He used to be on the bench all the time.
He did have a few personal issues, but I think all in all, he didn't have the talent either.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know much about Feyenoord. I know that have they won the league recently? I know Ajax have dominated that league more or less over the past 5, 6, 7 years. Again, they've got a good
They're Dutch. That's what I know. They're Dutch. There we go.
I'll tell you something. Dirk Kuyt scored at the weekend, and he dabbed.
No, he didn't.
He dabbed Kuyt.
How old is he? 56.
It's like your friend trying to dance at a wedding, isn't it? It's like, what's going on?
I'll tell you who they have got. Remember Elia?
No.
Oh, he's fast, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a quality. I like him. He's a player that I used to sign a lot on Footy Manager and stuff. I don't know if he's still got talent, but he plays for them as well. So I think Feyenoord are a team that I'll step in here, lads. Sorry.
I feel like everyone's learning a lot right now.
I think Feyenoord are definitely a team that are always winning their games. They have an expectancy to win. So although they're in the Europa League and they're a team that aren't very fanciable or anything like that, like Fenerbahce, like Manchester United, they are expected to win every game and they are expected to win all of their home games. So I think Feyenoord will pose us a threat. I think obviously someone like Dirk Kuyt, who scored a hat-trick against us in the past, he'll want to perform well. Elia could put himself in the shopping window. Brad Jones have a storm. But all in all, we should be beating these guys.
Here's one thing to throw in there. They played on Sunday, so we've got an extra day rest. There you go. There's something you can throw in there. And they play Sunday against PSV. So that's a big game for them.
Hey, I tell you what, that's actually quite a bit of knowledge that maybe the presenter of this preview should have known already.
He was great.
You see, the thing was, in my plan, I had asked these guys about Feyenoord, but I didn't expect you guys to come back not knowing nothing. So, like,
Adam, who's their manager? Who's their manager?
Dirk Kuyt.
No, it's Giovanni Van Bronckhorst of all people.
Oh, yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is like a lesson, this. It's great.
Do you remember that goal he scored that one time? Was it in the World Cup?
That one time with that rocket of a left boot.
It was in the World Cup. I remember it. I feel like I remember it.
Right, I think they're very dangerous guys. Gio Van Bronckhorst on the bench.
He's going to come on as a substitute, isn't he?
Right, we're boring everyone at home with his lack of knowledge on Feyenoord. Guys, I'm going to come to you for your predictions. Gaz, what's your score prediction for this one, mate?
Young lads, loads to impress. If it's hard to make a score prediction because I don't know what the team will be, but if it's similar to the team that we're sort of talking about, loads of young lads getting a go, I'll say 2-1 United.
Ooh, another win. Ben?
I might be the only Red to ever come on a preview and say I want to see Giovanni Van Bronckhorst firing a winner in the 90th minute. No, obviously, again, young, hungry, like Gaz just said, I want to see players who want to be on that team, on that bus, on the pitch against Watford at the weekend. So I'm hoping there's going to be some shifts put in. I'm going to say 3-0. I'm actually quite confident. I think Jose wants to win this competition, so I think we'll go out there with a winning mentality, and we'll want to put it right after what happened at the weekend. So let's go 3-0.
Oh, full of confidence then. I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester United with Memphis getting a goal on his first of the season.
Memphis to do his annual madness.
Yeah, he's Memphis to score against the Dutch side, Feyenoord. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? 2-0 United. I'm going, guys, we want you to get your predicted 11s, your predicted scores, everything in the comments below. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share. We'll be in Rotterdam on Thursday. As I said, guys, you should have got selling that body quicker. Could have joined us, but he didn't. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today. I've been Adam. They've been Gaz and Ben. We've been Full-Time Devils. This has been the Feyenoord preview. Anything else?
I'll just say, and anyone in the comments, if they want a bid for my body, I'm fully up for that.
Can we disable the comments?
We'll start the bid. We'll start the bidding at 79p.
Get Gaz to Rotterdam. Put your bids in. See you later, guys.
Laters.
We lost 2-1. Do you know what? We can go over the refereeing decisions as much as you want, can't you? I do think Clattenburg absolutely bottled it.